Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Sportskeeda Wrestling's The Debrief. I'm your host, Jose G. And next to me, the top Chico himself, Rico el Glorioso. What's going on, broski?
Oh, man. It's getting closer and closer to summertime, man. And right off the heels of a WrestleMania backlash, we're going to get a pay-per-view from AEW, Double or Nothing. Can't wait to talk about all the things going on. Jose, how have you been?
I'm doing well, man. Tons of stuff to get into. We had a monumental NXT last night with another classic match with Finn Balor and Karrion Kross. And we also got to see the debut, the premiere of one Franky Monet. It was spectacular. We're going to jump into all the details of last night's NXT, and we're also going to preview this week's AEW Dynamite, which is going to be on a special night, Friday night at 10 p.m. right after SmackDown on TNT because of the NBA playoffs. They got shifted over to Friday nights, hence why we are on a little bit earlier. But as always, if you're tuning in right now, make sure you are sharing tonight's show. Sharing is caring. And if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you are subscribing. Hit that subscribe button right now so that way you can find out whenever we drop new content daily. We got news roundups, top story. Monday nights, we got Vince Russo with Legion of Raw. Wednesday nights is the debrief. Friday nights, Dirty Dutch Mantel on Smack Talk. And on the weekends, we got tons of top 5 videos. So again, make sure you are subscribing to our YouTube channel. And if you're watching us on Facebook, make sure you are sharing tonight's show in your favorite wrestling group. The most important thing you can do while watching the show is enjoy wrestling while we talk about it. So let's jump into NXT, Rico, because NXT was hot. We had tons of stuff going on. It was a pretty hyped up episode from top to bottom, starting with the women's tag team division and finishing off with the NXT championship match. Overall, before we dive into every single match, what was your take on last night's takeover? I mean, last night's NXT.
You know, it's good to see that they're keeping things going with certain people. Like we had mentioned before, especially with guys like Santos Escobar, making sure that they're not, forgetting about him, especially if he's not chasing Kushida in the Cruiserweight Championship. They've really done a good job of kind of like mixing people up on what those next storylines are going to be. So I'm getting hyped for NXT in your house because we know they can always deliver when it comes to these takeovers, but we are starting to see it right now. Those pieces getting put into play on these storylines that we're going to have leading into Takeover in your house. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what NXT is going to continue to how they're going to continue to develop. Because with all the news and rumors that are going around, more NXT call-ups, or should we say crossovers, are going to be happening with more NXT talent going to Raw or SmackDown. Who knows how the landscape is gonna look when we get closer to Takeover, but they're starting to plant those seeds right now, which I like.
Yeah, and one thing coming up, in just a little bit over a month, July. Now that WWE is going to be back on the road, we've been reporting on it constantly here at Sportskeeda Wrestling, so that might come into the equation of maybe bringing over some stars from NXT over to the main roster for live TV events. But who knows? But you're absolutely right. This is really setting the tone for NXT TakeOver in your house, especially for next week that we're going to determine who the new number 1 contender is in a triple threat match where Kyle O'Reilly is going to be facing Pete Dunne. And who's my third guy? I forgot.
I was just about to say, wait, who's the third person?
This is terrible.
Kyle O'Reilly, Pete Dunne.
and Johnny Gargano.
Gargano, yes,
And Johnny Gargano.
That's what I meant by like, yeah, they keep putting these pieces in play because Santos, could not recapture the Cruiserweight Championship from Kushida, so now he's moving on to the NXT North American Championship against Bronson Reed, and now Johnny Gargano, no longer NXT North American Champion, could be gunning for the NXT title. So they're doing a lot of shifting to keep things fresh and interesting. So that that's gonna be a banger of a match if you're gonna put Pete Dunne, Gargano, and Kyle O'Reilly in the same match. Oh, it's gonna be great.
As we get closer to Takeover in your house, things are just gonna ramp up. And Tuesday night was one of those nights. This past night that was just a very, very good show. But let's start off with how it opened up, because we had an amazing tag team match with Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart going up against Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. And you know what? Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart got the win. What was more amazing about this match was the counter that Ember Moon did from Raquel Gonzalez, getting from that single arm powerbomb choke slam into the Eclipse, knocking Raquel Gonzalez out. The finish was absolutely perfect because Dakota Kai ate the pin, meaning that Raquel Gonzalez still looked strong. And then they attacked Ember and Shotzi right afterwards, right after the match. He was like, "Oh, you want to pick a fight with me?" So very good booking, solid finish. Still got a little bit of heel tendencies there from Raquel Gonzalez. Absolutely loved it. And I kind of want to run it back one more time and see how it goes. They might do singles matches. This is a good story for them to kind of embark on, to see who's going to be the next person in line for, the NXT Women's Tag.
Yeah. So, and they haven't really set up anybody else in the tag division. It feels like really the only other teams we know of are the Robert Stone brand, Jessica Maya and Aaliyah, and technically Team Ninja, even though we haven't seen them ever since they got wrecked and fatalitied by Xia Li. So, at least they're going to keep this story interesting. We thought they were going to be jumping into the Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez storyline, but it looks like that might be like the fallout of this feud that we have going on.
Yes,
so
it's exactly what I'm thinking.
We pulled the trigger just a little quick, but
yeah, but I think this is where it's going to lead up to eventually, where there's going to be a tag team match with some serious implications, and Dakota Kai will end up costing Raquel Gonzalez that opportunity, or vice versa. I mean, who knows? Maybe it is leading up to this. But just a quick question here from Ryan Markham. He's saying, how come it's AEW, not on the TNT, and they're moving to Friday nights? They're not moving to Friday nights permanently. It's just only for these next few weeks. So this Friday, it's going to be at 10 p.m. Same thing next Friday. And it's because of the NBA playoffs that are right now being broadcasted on TNT. So it's only temporary. Make sure you guys are catching it on Friday nights. But yeah, man. So I'm really liking where the direction of the women's tag is going right now with Raquel, Ember Moon, and Shotzi. Let's see how it goes moving forward. Speaking of the way the current women's tag team champions, they're kind of like Indy Hartwell right now, man. She's like embroiled now. She realizes the error of her ways, walking into Dexter's dark room to find out he just painted a bunch of broken hearts all over the wall. So, when I'm looking at that from a character standpoint, I'm looking, okay, well, Indy is going to be distracted with with Dexter. So with that going on, Candace and Indy may not be tag team champions for much longer.
Ooh.
Because if this whole love angle is still going on until NXT Takeover, or if it culminates at NXT Takeover, you have to imagine in one way, because of Indy being so distracted with Dexter and being completely against the way, you have to think of some way, shape, or form that means they're going to drop the titles, or it's going to go into that angle.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they get there, especially, again, like you just talked about, we have Ember and Shotzi still embroiled with Dakota and Raquel. There's no really other tag teams, but eventually they are going to lose it, and probably, just like you said, because of Dexter. But how are they going to get there? Like, are we really going to see a tag team reign from Jessica Maya and Aaliyah? Is the Robert Stone brand actually going to have a title run out of this because of Indy Hartwell's obsession with Dexter Lumis now? Who knows? It remains to be seen. But they've been doing a great job with the storytelling. Again, like everything that they've been doing with the way has been amazing. So I'm gonna have faith that NXT is gonna do right by the storyline and by all the people involved. So I want to see how this goes. I want to see how this is gonna end up. You know, obviously we want to see them finally come back together and have Dexter and Indy. So if we ship them, I guess it's Dindy or Lexter.
Well, I'll tell you right now, the
Dexter?
women's division in NXT, not only just in the women's tag, but also in the women's singles division, they're both so much better than Monday Night Raw's division, and even a little bit better than SmackDown's. But overall, man, they're just really killing. I love what they're doing right now. But move things along.
I was gonna say, speaking of the women's division, man, you know, one of our favorites, Mercedes Martinez, did get a win over Zeta Ramir, who had that crazy underdog win over Toni Storm not too long ago. And here we were thinking that we could possibly get another upset win from this upstart from the reality of wrestling based out of Houston, Texas. But that was not to be.
I was scared. I was legitimately scared because she did so well in on her last match last week. She surprised tons of people, and here was this possibility that she could do it again against a veteran, you know, nonetheless. But you know what? I'm glad and I applaud what they did because Ramir looked great, but Mercedes looked even better. And now we know why we're keeping Mercedes around, because now we get the return of Tian Sha with Xia Li. I think this is shaping up to be one of those instant classics as well whenever we get it. I just hope they save for it for a takeover and not for just a main show, because I think this match deserves that.
That'd be great. That'd be especially a good platform for Xia Li, for people that haven't been really following up or keeping up with NXT and realizing how far she's come from the character that she was before to what she is now. And then we haven't seen her for a while. So, you know, we've been asking where in the world was Xia Li, but we got to see it here. So we know they were just holding off. We got to see Mercedes Martinez cut this promo in the back. And as she's walking towards the ring, and as she cuts out of frame, you see Boa just comes out of the door frame with the sunglasses on, looking all creeper. But now we know why. So it looks like Mercedes Martinez is the next person that has been marked by Tian Sha. So we'll see, you know, Xia Li and her in a hard-hitting affair with this new character Xia Li has. I think this is going to be great for her. This will be a great way to really elevate Xia Li and show why she should be in the women's title picture, just like Mercedes was.
Completely agree. And, you know, and as since we are still talking about the women's division, you know, NXT gets yet another upgrade in the women's division with Franky Monet. Yes, Jeffrey Young, we are talking about Franky Monet, formerly known as Taya Valkyrie, La Wera Loca. Impressive debut. And let's talk about her entrance music. Fire. Whoever's doing the producing right now, whoever's putting the stuff together in the music production for NXT is absolutely killing it. They killed it with Hit Row. They killed it now with Franky Monet. Absolutely spectacular. The premiere of Franky Monet. Rico, I don't know. You gotta take the mic, man, because if not, I'm gonna keep piping.
You're gonna just keep gushing the accolades of one Franky Monet, and she deserves it. From the even like the camera work in the back. Like, I think they have to do this every time she has a match where she's finishing up her makeup. She has her dog and she has like handed off to some intern that's back there because the girls. What? Okay, because you have to have that dog. Like, that's a pivotal part of her character. But then when she came out, the entrance, the music was great. We already know how talented she is. I love that she continues like the smack talking in the ring, but she was just yelling at Cora Jade, "Don't you know who I am? I'm La Wera Loca!" Like, everything that she does in the ring, I think is great. I'm looking forward to see her. You know, I think they're going to push her much sooner rather than later, obviously, because of how talented she is. It's already stacked as it is at the top of that mountain. Sure, let's go ahead and throw in Franky Monet too, because honestly, she deserves it, and she's going to be able to hang with everybody else. Man, they need an hour of just all women's.
Listen, I wouldn't be opposed of having Franky Monet being called up to SmackDown to join John. Team Drip.
Oh man,
the moistest couple in WWE.
Oh man.
Everybody's gonna be in the splash zone.
There you go. See, look at that. You're writing it for them. You have all like, just turn them all into t-shirts. And that's all money, Jose.
This could end up being, like John and Frankie versus Miz and Maurice. That would be good. Or they could just have a faction. Or they could just have a faction of all four of them together. I mean, I think it could work out both ways.
Oh yeah, no, it's just sad that again, I don't think PJ Black is going to come over anytime soon, and especially Jack Evans. Yeah, they're not both going to show up over here in WWE, unfortunately.
No, so, the Underground.
Yeah, we're not gonna get a Lucha Underground reunion here, Worldwide Underground, unfortunately. So it's still going to be just Johnny Drip Drip, not Johnny Mundo. But it is great to have her here, man. And again, like,
I'm very happy. I'm very happy she impressed the hell out of me.
Yeah.
I just can't wait to actually see her again. Go up against some of the top talent in NXT. Have her go up against Ember, or have her go up against Shotzi, have her go up against Candice, Mercedes, and Raquel eventually.
And even the girls that they've been bringing up more, like have her go up against Zoe Stark, like have her go up against Saray, because we haven't seen Saray. They didn't have Saray this week, so like there is so much talent. But I did like that she is still using basically the Glam Slam as her finisher. So of course, like a nice little
Phoenix throwing some shade there. She's like, I know that move.
Yeah, like, oh, that looks familiar. So man. Great debut by Franky Monet.
Yeah, man. But I mean, we could talk about the women's division all day, but let's move things over to the tag team division. We saw Timothy Thatcher, Toothless Timmy, and Old Man Ciampa talking about how they're going to be facing the grizzled young veterans in another match down the line. That they're going to be enjoying breaking their limbs. Solid promo. I love what they're doing, and they're just kind of becoming almost like a really aggressive version of the Bushwhackers. It's just like, it's like, I don't know. I like it. I like what they're doing. We also got to see another promo of Imperium, acknowledging the fact that Alexander Wolf has been kicked out and done with Imperium. And now that it's Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel's job to get the NXT Tag Team Champions back. We also saw the return of Bobby Fish in singles, in a singles competition, going up against Pete Dunne, and I thought they were going to give the win to Bobby Fish, being he's coming back, but nah, man. Pete Dunne looked strong, beat him clean, beautiful transition with the finish. Man, Pete Dunne, Pete Dunne is going to probably be the one to go up against Karrion Kross. I mean, that's early prediction, but we have to see how it turns out next week.
It makes the most sense, especially coming fresh off the heels of Finn Balor. Like, it's as much as we love Johnny and what he's been doing, like this is currently the time of Pete Dunne and Kyle O'Reilly. It's going to come down to one of those two guys ultimately. So who's going to be the one that faces Karrion Kross? Spoiler, sorry, but yeah, you're right. Like right now, Pete Dunne looks like the most devastating guy, especially with the joint manipulation, especially the way he really was targeting the shoulder, the surgically repaired shoulder of Bobby Fish. Like that was the reason why he was out for so long and going after and making the storyline. These two guys worked really well together. And it's just sad that now that we don't have Roderick Strong, like Bobby Fish is a new Roderick Strong. Like he is that great technical wrestler that's going to make anybody he goes up against look really incredible.
He did.
And it just sucks that in his debut back that he had to face up against Pete Dunne, because you weren't going to get through that roadblock anytime soon. But it was a great match for both of those guys. But I'm glad to see Bobby Fish is back.
Yeah, it's nice to see him back. But again, I would have liked to see what he would have been able to do if we would have gotten that win over Pete Dunne. Nice entertaining segment. Also, we had Cameron Grimes in a $1 million face-off against the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. And first, it started good. Then it got a little corny, but then it got really good. So it took me through a roller coaster. I was like, okay, these guys are gonna heckle each other, and then all of a sudden they're acknowledging each other, and then it was like, okay, well, all of a sudden you're thinking that Cameron Grimes is gonna be under the wing of the $1 Million Man, but then all of a sudden L.A. Knight makes his presence known.
Yeah.
Looks like he wants to be the mouthpiece for the $1 Million Man, and genuinely, as we know, people that work under the $1 Million Man brand or is managed by him often lead off to very great success. And I see that in L.A. Knight.
These promos are going to be so much
So
fun. These promos are going to be so much fun between Cameron Grimes and LA Knight leading into their match. I could just, man, he's so good. Like, just the character that LA Knight has created for himself. And then it was like being realistic too, like being able to talk like, yeah, I'm not, $1 million man. I didn't earn money quickly like you did, but I know I can work for it. And just the crowd going at him and he just soaks it up. Oh, it's, man, give him the mic. So good.
Let me talk to you.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Great. I love it. Absolutely great. Great stuff. Let's see what else we got here. Santos Escobar moving up to the North American Championship division now, making his presence known before Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed was celebrating, letting you know how hard he's been trying to get this NXT North American title, climbing mountain after mountain after mountain after mountain until he was finally interrupted by Legado del Fantasma. It looks like Legado was going to jump him, but then MSK came over for the rescue, so this looks like it's going to lead into some type of 6-man tag. Also, we're all going to get the NXT tag team match next week between Legado and MSK, so that's gonna be happening right over there. But that should be pretty good, man. Do you think they'll drop it to Escobar they'll give it to Escobar that quick?
Or give the tag team championships to Legado del Fantasma, or to Escobar getting the North American champion?
Both.
I would not be surprised if Bronson was a transitional champion. I would not be surprised. I don't see Legado getting the tag team championships yet. I think once Santos wins a title again, I think they'll get it. I think they'll have a moment when all three of them have titles, kind of like with Undisputed Era. But man, it's not. I don't think it's Legado's time right now, especially when you have MSK essentially going up against the winner of Grizzled Young Veterans and Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa. Man, no, I want to see these guys continue to go at it. So not yet. It's getting closer. Legado's getting closer, but now they also got to worry because more tag teams have been added to the mix, including who you mentioned earlier, Hit Row, because they had a nice little video vignette back like in the studio once again. All of them got in their lines. Like, they just called out everybody in NXT.
Except B-Fab. Why didn't B-Fab call out anyone from the women's division? They all called out. Yeah. So we had Dante the Adonis. He's calling out Kushida. Then they're calling out the tag division. And he's calling out the NXT champion. Why didn't she call out Raquel? Why didn't she call out the women?
Because she knows she ain't ready yet, bro. That's way that. But I'm that
saying you part of Hit Row.
You should.
I'm saying you're part of Hit Row. You're trying to sell this persona.
Yeah.
Why didn't you call out Raquel? Everybody else called out who they were going to call out. Why didn't you call out Raquel?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. She ain't ready, bro. She ain't that fan. Be scared, bro.
I'm just going to leave it there. Just
gonna change her name to Be Scared, bro, because that's she's too scared to go against the women's division. But I did want to point out a cool idea from Jeffrey Young a little earlier. So we speaking about Imperium and how Walter basically did this like via Zoom message, essentially talking about Martel Bartel and Baby Nike. But imagine if should Wade Barrett be the leader of Imperium, just like the Nexus?
No.
You don't want to see Wade Barrett?
No, bro. He's running a tight ship. And I don't think Wade Barrett wants to get a chop from Walter.
What if he did the MVP to Walter, MVP to Bobby Lashley to Walter and Wade Barrett? What if he was Walter's
their MVP?
Yeah.
That might work. That might work. I think that'll probably work pretty good.
Yeah. Just some food for thought, but yeah, so I'm pretty sure, like what you said, it's gonna be a 6-man tag match 6-man tag next week to really set up these storylines heading into NXT takeover in your house. So
Come
maybe
on,
we'll get
Steve
Santos versus Bronson Reed. We'll see.
Steve Chambers, he's like hit row NXT version of Wow. Steve, come on, man. Listen, you haven't even seen these guys. First of all, AJ Francis has done way more than Dio Madden right now has done it on Raw. So he's doing pretty good. Let's see give him a chance. All right. Watch him in the ring before you start comparing them to Retribution. But you know what, dude? Let's talk about this main event because another classic. Finn Balor, Karrion Kross 2. Did it live up to the hype? Was it better? What did you guys think? Put it in the comments right now. Let us know what you thought of Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross 2. Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Sound off in the comments right now. Rico, throwing this over to you. Was it better than the first one? Did it live up to the hype?
It was a really good match. The only thing is, the hype was there for a takeover. That's where that hype was for, Stand and Deliver. That energy, knowing every match was better than the one before, that they had to step it up, especially over 2 nights. Like, there was so much of setting that bar so high. We were lucky enough to get it on a regular NXT. It just feels like the buildup wasn't as hype because it was leading into TakeOver. So I think that takes away a little bit, but it was a good match nonetheless between these 2 guys. So it wasn't up there to the one at TakeOver, Stand and Deliver, but it was really good. That's good.
I agree. My take on this is that who can stop Karrion Kross?
Oh man,
let's talk about that. Karrion Kross is undefeated since he has been in NXT. Remember, he dropped the title because he had an injury, but he regained it. He hasn't lost a single match. And right now, I don't see a credible threat to Karrion Kross's throne. And the only credible threat that has been vanquished in Finn Balor. Yeah. So this was a fantastic match, fantastic storytelling. Did it live up to the first one? No. The first one at Stand and Deliver was unbelievable. Great. Was this one great? Was it good? Absolutely. This was great, but it was different because Karrion Kross dominated this match the most of the match. Mm-hmm. Whereas in Stand and Deliver, this was literally the first time they're figuring each other out. So by the time this second match comes around, Kross already knows. He's probably already studied Finn Balor. He already knows what to expect from him in the ring. So he's even more prepared for Finn Balor, why we saw this dominating performance.
Yeah, you're right, man. Like, it's tough to see anybody on that NXT roster that could potentially dethrone the killer Kross that is Karrion Kross. But man, we already know, again, the next person facing off against him is either going to be Kyle O'Reilly, Pete Dunne, Johnny Gargano. You would assume out of those 3, Pete Dunne has the best chance of beating him. Kyle O'Reilly probably second. Johnny Gargano, he's going to have the way with him, so at least he'll be entertaining, even though Karrion already destroyed Austin Theory. But yeah, there's only one person I can think of, and that's Steven Chambers said right there. Not as much as I like Bronson Reed, I would rather have Walter. Walter be the one to defeat Kross would be amazing.
Who goes over in that though? Like,
Walter.
How do you? Nah, you can't, dude.
Have him try to do the switch, like the hidden blade to Walter, but his neck is so thick that he just like shrugs it off and just chops him right in the chest. And then he falls in praise because his chest is hurting so much.
Let me tell you, Walter versus Kross, that's oof.
But that's
a main event right there.
Imagine how strong that
is. This winner take all scenario? Are we doing a winner take all scenario?
Oh no, he's gonna have to drop the NXT North America, NXT.
So this is just an NXT. So this is just an NXT title scenario.
Yeah. Like he decides he's held the title for too long, so he can relinquish it when he comes over to NXT proper. So Man, but just imagine how strong they'll make Karrion Kross look if Walter goes for a chop and he takes it, and he just like
and he just yells
and just like just does his like Super Saiyan power up thing that he does. Like imagine how badass of a scene that looks. Chops him again, and he still just yells at his face. Oh,
that's. I want to see it now. I think that's a great. I think that would be a great matchup.
Drake Maverick.
Let's see if they pull the trigger on that.
Don't kill poor Drake Maverick like that, man.
Man,
kill him. It's horrible.
But NXT was a solid show, guys. Anthony Bruno is rating 7 out of 10 for this week's NXT. What are your guys' scores? I'm gonna put a solid 8. It's gonna be nice 8 for me. Great storytelling, great match. That main event was solid. Great stuff with the women's division, with the women's tag team division. It's everything right now. They're doing everything right on the road to NXT TakeOver in your house.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it. I'd give it a solid 7.5. I liked it. Just give that extra point because of the great match between Finn Balor and Karrion Kross, and for that amazing Eclipse reversal of just having that choke slam getting ready to happen, but just out of nowhere, Ember Moon hits the Eclipse. I want to see you do that more often. Like that should be like kind of like RKO out of nowhere, Eclipse out of nowhere from Ember Moon. So because of that, I give them the nice solid 7.5 on that.
All right, that's good, man. Good stuff. And guys, keep putting in your comments. We're going to be answering them and reviewing them after the show. More importantly, make sure you are sharing tonight's show, even if you're watching us on demand. Make sure you're sharing right now in your favorite wrestling group. Tag your friends in the comments so they can join in on the conversation about NXT. Special programming this week here on Sportskeeda Wrestling. Friday night, we have Smack Talk. Saturday, we'll have the review for AEW Dynamite. And then on Sunday night, we'll have the review for AEW Double or Nothing. Tons of content that we got right now on our YouTube channel. Make sure you are subscribing to the YouTube channel. Videos daily, news roundups, top story. Monday nights, Vince Russo with Legion of Raw with Dr. Chris Featherstone. Friday nights, we got Dirty Dutch Mantel with SP3 and Kevin Kellum going down with Smack Talk, reviewing everything on SmackDown. And then we got us on Wednesday nights with the debrief. So, guys, just make sure you're following and sharing is caring. Hit your notification bells so that way you never, ever miss a new video and new live streams just like this one. All right? So, for Rico El Glorioso, I'm Jose G. We'll see you guys next week. And remember, when watching wrestling, what's the most important thing they can do, Rico?
Enjoy it. Enjoy wrestling.